You want your staff to make good decisions without bringing everything to you. If you give them clear guidelines, that's great. But if you thought that was all that was needed, that's a mistake. Guidelines are hugely useful to an employee trying to make a good decision without bothering the boss. That can look like a decision tree. If this, then that. If the answer to this question is yes, ask that question next. And depending on that answer, etc., etc. Useful, definitely. You can offer examples to go with your guidelines. This supports two good outcomes. The examples can provide additional clarity to guidelines that might otherwise have been a bit theoretical or vague. People remember stories, so someone is more likely to remember the example where someone claimed their ferret was an emotional support animal rather than just dry guidelines about how to enforce a no pets policy. Decision trees and examples are a good place to start, but the reality is that that's just you pre-making the decision. If you want your staff to be able to handle situations that aren't covered in the guidelines, you need to have a conversation about the values behind the decisions. Take the example of enforcing a pet policy. One business might use the customer is always right as its North Star. Another might take the approach that the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few and that the many customers are best served by strict policy adherence. Or they might decide to make exceptions only as far as the foyer, or only if it's really cold out, or only for particularly spendy customers. None of these approaches is inherently wrong or right, but which one you think is appropriate is going to be based on how you define concepts like customer service and hygiene and how you balance them in your business. Talking about these sorts of concepts and about values like accountability and trustworthiness are the key to getting people to make the decisions you want them to make. Everyone agrees are important, but not everyone agrees what they look like in the real world. So how do you go about having these conversations with your staff members? How will you know if the discussion accomplished your mission? To hear more about that, watch this video next.